we'll be talking about our Alliance game versus the New Era. This is their alliance right here. They have 5 wins and 8 losses. They're 27 members. Here is their alliance members. Today we'll be doing a World Redux Unranked 16v16. These are the rules. It's unranked 16v16 on World Redux. News usage is only by leaders. No gold. We have a 10-day peace. Stealth units are allowed, but elite units are not allowed. Officers are allowed. There are no UAVs, no spies. The AI countries were split beforehand, and naval peeking or air peeking is not allowed. Okay, here is what we guess that our opponents are, what their builds are going to be. So we think that they're going to have 8 navies, because there are 8 countries that have naval ports, but some of these countries also have artillery building specs going on. There are around 3 air countries. UK is going air and possibly special operation. Then there are 5 support countries, which is also, we don't know if they're going tanks or maybe anti-air or artillery. So these are our educated guesses about what our enemies' builds are going to be. Okay, here are our builds for this AFBA. So we have 5 support players. We have 3 air players. 1 support, like more support role. Maybe if they're like backup, kind of to help get more infantry and tanks. Then we have 7 navy, which is mainly just going cruisers, naval captain, frigates, and then mixing in destroyers and some subs. Our air are mostly going some sort of helis, ASF, and then mixing in some AWACS, NPA, depending on each country. And then our like lands, like support roles, are going mainly MRLs, MAA, SAMs, National Guards, and radars. That's pretty much the same across the board. And then we have our Russia, our like extra what do you call it, like backup. He's going more tanks, and then helping fill in some extra MRLs, MAA, SAM, and motorized infantry. Okay, so this is our current map. This is where we are going to be starting. We split the AI's countries up along a line right here, so you can see, going right up this, all the way up to Finland. US starts with Diego Garcia, so that's going to be an advantage for them. But we have everything on this side. And our opposing team has all of South America and North America, and West Africa, and Western Europe, and Central Europe. For this next segment, I'll go through each of our countries' builds and what exactly we are building in each city in order to help further optimize our chances of winning. So I'll start with my own build. So right here, I took these AI nations over here. I'm doing a small focus on getting arms industry, so because Navy is a pretty intense rares. It needs lots of rare materials, so I've been getting donations from other countries and also trying to optimize my own production. I only need a little bit of fuel in order to make up for the fuel that ships cost. Right here I have a level 2 naval base, which I can upgrade later on if I need to. This was mainly for making frigates and other stuff really quickly. Over here I have a level 4 naval base in Antalya. You'll notice that this is also a component city. So this naval naval base will be giving this city a 15% resource production bonus, so it's really useful for Navy. Over here I have my other level 4 naval base on my electronic city, which is also something we are at a crunch on. So that's very important to get that other 15% bonus. And as you can see, now I am building arms industries to be improving these resource production as quickly as possible. For this, for the supply city, I also built a level 2 naval base and just kept it pretty basic with some level 1 arms industry so I could build those frigates. Over here, I have my other component city, which is a landlocked, so there is nothing much I can optimize it for. You'll notice that I do not have any recruiting offices or army bases because they can do absolutely nothing unless I want to spend like extra resources, which I could be giving. Like I gave like all my supplies to our to these land countries because they require tons of supplies, and there's really no need for me to have a level 1 infantry or level 1 stuff when they could be having much like more upgraded troops that can do more damage for the amount of resources that they have. So yes, so I just keeping it pretty basic here. Okay, next we have Ukraine here. So they, as you can see, more let land support role. So they build a bunch of National Guards. You can see that they're actually healing in these coastal waters because each one of these National Guards down here, you'll see that in these coastal waters they only have a 12 HP. So, and when they're on land, they have 15 HP. So what happens is, and since ships heal in coastal waters at a rate of 2 HP per day, they actually heal due to this like small, even though for National Guard it's pretty small, this decrease in like the total amount. You gotta think of it as like it'll be healing at 2.5 HP every day, which is a little bit better than a level, like 1 hospital, which now we don't have to spend any resources on, and we can upgrade our like army bases and other stuff quickly instead of just waiting around trying to upgrade to get those hospitals. You'll see that is a common strategy that is very useful for this. You'll see South Africa is also using this to heal their troops. Yeah, okay. And then okay, so Ukraine is mainly going that support role. They got some main battle tanks, got a mix of motorized infantry. Well, that's what they came with. They've been making those National Guards. Now, since they have higher upgraded cities, you can see they're getting level 3 army bases right now. They have made radars. Okay. Over here, we have Russia. Russia's is that like backup support role. They're making mainly tanks and stuff that'll help like boost up our attacks over here. They're kind of like the oddball. So they're going to be helping out all across the board here, making sure no one's going to get invaded. They're going to be coming in and helping save them. So right here, they're making these level 4 army bases in order to make those MRLs. So you can see we already have some of our first lineups set up. So he's getting it here to help push in up here in the top into Sweden. You can see he's also building arms industries on his component cities in order to get so we can donate more components to us and to spend more on main battle tanks. Over here we have Iran. Iran is also going that land support role. Right now they finished making some MAA and some radars. So now they're pushing onto mobile SAMs to help what's it called? That's to go against fixed wing aircraft. So what we could have done is not gone MAA at all, because as you can see, they only do a small amount of damage to helis, and then a small amount of damage to fixed wing. Though they can be useful against those helis, they are not really, they can still be easily taken out with a 5-stack of helis. But the problem is, for this match, our air players, we only have, where's our other air player? I need to find, okay, here's Australia, and then we have, pretty sure, is it Yeah, but going back on that, if you're having advanced air players in your match, and you can be sure that they're actually like covering you with ASF at all times, so you're not vulnerable to those helis, and then you actually can take them out. And those SAMs, to spend putting more research points into those mobile SAMs is better. But for here, we've decided to go more, get a few MAA in order to help make sure that helis aren't just destroying all of our troops. So yes, so here they're pushing there and there, and they're getting level 4 arms industries on our electronics, because that's another resource that we're quite tight on right now. So we put level 4 army bases on the rest of the cities. Over here we have Saudi Arabia, one of our air players. Right now they have level 4 ASF. That's going to be a great help. Right now he's making his rotary wing officer, soon he'll be making helis. So he has a bunch of air bases all across the board here. You'll notice he has the level 2 on the most important cities. Right here he has, because these give a 5% and a 10% boost on level. So supplies we don't really need as much, so we have level 1 here, cheaper. And on our electronics, our component cities, those are the level 2 ones to give that extra boost. Over here we have Egypt. Egypt is our he's going navy and getting some extra inf and towed artillery in order to help support this West Africa push into Algeria. So we have this lined up already. That's going to be ready to go. We're going to be pushing here. So he already has 5 frigates and his naval officer. Mine is still waiting. Over here we have Ethiopia. Ethiopia is going more like a land build. So right now they already have their SAMs and MAA and radars already built. So that'll help. They're healing their NGs after they were built. It's going up straight into the coastal waters, so we can make sure they will be healed up by day 10. So. Over here we have Dr. Congo. Dr. Congo's again going that land build, since he only has this one homeland city on the water. So he built some CRVs in order to help counteract those special ops. These are the main counters to that, because we suspect that they're going to be doing a few counter ops to try to catch us off guard. So he has his MAA here being built. He's now upgrading his army bases. Down here we have South Africa. South Africa, he built 4 level 4 naval bases. So that's a little dicey, because we already have a good number of naval players all pumping out stuff, so we don't have extra components. So a lot of these, so right now he's really only going to be able, like this whole game, he's going to be able to use 2 of these, and these naval bases are just going to be sitting there most of the game. And maybe this third one might be used, but really you only need 2, maybe 3. If you can get that 4th, if you have like multiple players that are not going tanks, not going any like that, and they're all pouring components and electronics into you. This is not a good move either, because he could be upgrading his arms industry, and instead he's waiting, like, I think it's 2 days, maybe a day and a half, to relocate headquarters, which might, after like 10 days, or maybe, I think it'd be like 8 days maybe, go to 100 morale, which will give him a slight, boost in production. But having a 40%, an extra 40% boost, and the same amount of, almost the same amount of time for this thing just to be built. Maybe it'll be, to get level 5, it'll probably take 4 or 5 days, while this thing in total is going to be taking like 10 days in order to have any effect, really. So that wasn't the best move. So next time we're gonna have to improve on that. So yes, so next time we gotta make sure we're building these arms industry instead of trying to optimize it with headquarters movement. Okay, got all that covered. Now let's go to Pakistan. Here, Pakistan, as you can see, they're mainly going that land route again. So they have a bunch of radars, a bunch of MAA. He's the main MAA over here, so he's gonna bring that all over here to help support. So he's going those low-level army bases building, so because he's getting those radars and these MAA mainly. Down here we have India. This is our third air player. I missed it. So he's going attack helis. Or no, gunships. Sorry. He's going gunships, and so he has. I think he's going to be making AWACS and NPA. He's specializing in that because we only need like one or two players. One player doing that really. So he's building his level 3 army base right now, and level 4 is being built in here. So those will start pumping out NPAs. Here we have Vietnam. Vietnam is he's going more of a mixed build for Navy. He already built a few frigates. Right here he's building attack submarines on level 3 Navy bases. So yes. Down here we have Indonesia. Indonesia is going Navy again. He has his stuff.
Standing back for order.
Where's his troops? So he has his naval officer built right here. I think he's still building his. I think he's offline right now, building his level 4 naval bases. Oh yeah, here he goes. Yeah, it's this. I think this is mainly due to our component crunch. So he's going Navy. Yeah. Here's Australia. Australia is doing that. He's doing air. So right here he's building this fixed wing officer. That's gonna help boost those planes. Here he's building attack helicopters and ASF, which is gonna be really useful. All across the board here. He's on full production right now, which is great. There he has his rotary wing, his ASF already ready, and the start of a heli. I don't know what to call it. Attack wing. Over here, we have China. China is also going Navy. Because Navy is very important in this very open map. Right here, he's getting more electronics. Because we're all low in it, so he's he's focusing on those arms industries right now. And down here, he only has level 1 arms industry because this is a supply city, and it won't really help that much. Down here, we have Japan. Japan is going Navy too. And now he's building some frigates. This is level 3 naval bases already done. And that is our lineup. So, yes. We'll check back in one more time right before our match starts to see how much we've progressed. Hopefully, I am pushing for around 9 or 10 cruisers with my naval captain, and it's personally what I'm going. Another thing to mention: research optimization. So down here, getting this level 3 cruiser very important due to the 100 attack range. But this frigate right here, for example, there's really no point in spending rares that we could be using upgrading tanks, upgrading infantry, only to get a 75 attack range, which already does barely any damage to ships. So you would be spending an extra 4,000 rares just to do that. So we get this first upgrade, so we get that 100 AA range to help cover our cruisers. Down here, getting that second naval officer research due to the speed. Right here, level 1. Level 1 is 4 on the high seas and 2 on the coastal waters. On the next level, it's 4.5 and 2.25, which is in line with your cruisers. If we had just gone level 1, then it would be slowing down the stack, which would not be very good. So, yes.
Here is our game plan. Africa. Offensive, a preemptive strike to make sure any incoming attack is weakened. 1. Gonna go for 1 or 2 arty hits and then start falling back to purple positions. 2. 7 go in for a gunship strike to take out as much infantry as he can. We saw a lot based on Recon SS, gunship strike should stop a big counterattack. Fall back, basically wait to see what they want to do. 3. Play at purple positions and see how much damage our arty can do. 4. Gunships go back to heal/more in produce. 5. A possible counterattack, further instructions needed, we will see what happens and go from there. Other notes. Niamey. If our navy off Western Africa can secure objectives and connect with the South African frigate in Guinea, then we could possibly leave a stack of arty at Niamey and retain a foothold. It gives them a threat and just a second thought about fighting our land deeper because it means we can easily flank them. It could go either way, and we could land more arty stacks or just pull out if it's looking a bit dodgy. Special Forces. Opponent specs, Algeria, are most likely in the region. Possible targets would obviously include 7s and Gravity's aircraft on the ground and also our arty. Once we find contact with our recon units in arty stacks, our gunships should be able to clean. Counterattack. If there is significant counterattack from them, we can fall back to a second line, allows for us to regroup and see what happens on other portions of the map. Black, fallback line. Dark blue, current airfields in the region. Light blue, potential airfields for the fallback line. Red, enemy airfields.
African Navy.
Offensive, a small probe for enemy resistance. 1. Head north along western coast to attempt to connect with our frigate by the Gulf of Guinea. 2. If there is any resistance, literally any, we immediately cease the offensive, reason being we are already down numbers naval-wise, and trading and engaging in major naval battle isn't a smart move. 3. Being wary of a flank, as drawn in as red arrows, via ways such as leaving behind a few ships to watch our back and make sure we have an escape, and having India scout out with aircraft, preferably NPA. Post-attack. If the attack is successful, then we can hold the Gulf of Guinea, but at this moment not look into an attack towards South America. If it isn't, we pull back ASAP and at no means allow them access into the Indian Ocean, where our Asian and Med navies might get flanked, and also a whole ton of our economy.
Europe.
Romanian offensive. 1. Iranian artillery and Ukrainian tanks, with support from the Australian helis, will attempt an offensive into Romania and eventually the Balkans, where we are hoping to crunch Greece and knock him out with combined effort from our Med fleet. 2. Afterwards we're looking into potential flanks via Poland and force them to pull arty back to hold, therefore creating opportunity for the main army in Russia and Ukraine. Strongholds. 1. Ukraine is holding Lviv line, and possibly start an attack depending on what happens, taking a few arty shots but mainly waiting for results in Romania. 2. Russia is holding a line at Vilnius/Minsk, taking advantage of the river. Other notes. Special Forces. Once again, opponent specs, British and French, are most likely in the region. Possible targets include aircraft and artillery. Once we find contact with our recon units in arty stacks, our gunships should be able to clean. Make sure artillery and airfields are protected. Finland. There seems to be a slight possibility that there could be an attack from the Finnish border, in which event Russian forces should be sufficient enough to take an initial hit. Otherwise air support might be needed to stop an attack. Swedish Air Force and helis. The Swedish Air Force is definitely going ASF. However, at this point we are unsure whether he has strike fighters, in which case, our SAMs should be enough to stop them from getting significant value, or helis, which we have a WAX plus ASF for but will still be a problem. Either way, be careful. Possible counterattack. The other side could see our attack in Romania and might push a lot of forces to either A. Stop it. B. Create a counterattack from the Ukraine/Belarus region. The latter scenario, combined with a possible attack from Finland, means we could be forced to fall back, line drawn below. But honestly, our attack into Romania should be successful. Fallback line, taking advantage of the rivers in Russia and Ukraine. Airfields. Best possible outcome for the Romanian attack.
Med Navy.
Offensive. 1. Turkey crunches from Black Sea, meanwhile Egypt plus China come from the Suez, with the desired outcome of taking out Greece early on, and therefore evening out the naval numbers. 2. Moving deeper into the Med and moving into the Adriatic Sea to help out our land, possibly by leaving behind a frigate or something to take shots at passing units and provide some AA. 3. Move back down and hold the Malta line, just easy to hold, while we start feeling the evening out naval-wise through our new mobilizations. 4. Go from there. Other notes. Resistance. Even though I'm fairly confident our crunch on Greece will work, there will be heavy resistance. I'm expecting at least one of the American navies to be there in support, possibly two, e.g. USA and Canada. Once again touching on what I said for the African Navy, we are down numbers and don't really want to trade. If possible, avoid major engagements and any fights that aren't in our favor. Fallback line. In the Med we have a fairly easy fallback, e.g. the Suez, the Red Sea, and even the Gulf of Aden if it comes to it. If we get pushed that far back, more support from Asia will probably arrive to take back some water.
Asia.
Defense. We're hoping to take our home ground advantage and make use of it, e.g. us having airports and also just faster backup/response time than them. A spread like the following can capitalize on this and gives us quick response to attack in any region of Asia. Northern Fleet. Yellow Sea, Philippine Sea, North Pacific Ocean, etc. 5 subs, Japan. 4 destroyers plus naval cap Japan. 5 cruisers, Indonesia. Central Fleet. Central Pacific Ocean, etc. 5 subs, Japan. 5 frigates, Japan. Southern Fleet. Tasman Sea. 4 cruiser plus naval cap Indonesia. 5 destroyers, Japan. Air Force. NPA/AWACS will be patrolling along these lines and should give us an early warning to allow us to move into position to receive an attack. NPA will also be heavily invested into, from now on, to give us a strike force. Other notes. Submarines. They have obviously invested heavily into submarines. By retaining our current line, our counters will be our own submarines, destroyers, and NPA. If necessary, we can give up this line and fight further back and possibly take advantage of coastal waters, especially of Australia and Indonesia, even the Philippines at an extent. The more we stall/the longer it takes for them to mount a heavy attack, the better for us, because we have more ships to slightly even out the naval disadvantage, and we also get NPA to deal with subs. Hawaii. Obviously a base for NPA. We don't really want to touch that. Let them come to us and see what happens. Fallback. We have 2 fallback lines to potentially stall for time and build up more ships. We may transition Vietnam and China back into Asia if things are looking dire.
Finally, some gameplay footage.
baby. And us in Texas, you wanna try, baby. I know you can, I know your heart, and you will figure out you love me now, 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 love you now. I gotta leave you, love me now, 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 love you now. I gotta leave.